Hey everybody, what's going on? Today we're going to be diving into Disa Caves. This is the most important dungeon in the game, probably. Usually in these games, gear is the most important thing, and Eternal Evolution is no different. So I think it's really important to get in here early, progress as quickly as you can, because the further you get in here, the further you're going to get everywhere. The better your champs are geared, the more they're going to be able to do across the board. So understanding this dungeon, progressing in this dungeon is a top priority, I would say. So I'm going to talk about early game Deesa Caves. The goal is to get you to level 6. If you can get to level 6 and start farming level 6, you're going to be in great shape because that's where you start to unlock mythic equipment. And that's going to be such a big jump from anything else you've had access to up to this point. It's going to push your progression quite a bit. So we want to get you to level 6 and then however far you can go beyond there. I am sure in the later stages things change quite a bit. But again, we're talking about early game Deesa Caves. If you're here for a guide, it's probably because you're in the early game, right? So like the video, subscribe if you haven't and you want to see more. And let's go ahead and jump into this. Let's talk about this dungeon. The big thing for Deesa Caves is multi-hitting champs. The big mechanic that you need to be aware of for this boss is that at 90%, 50%, and 10% of its HP, it's going to get a shield, and it's going to have a number on it, and you need to hit the boss that many times to get rid of that shield, or he's going to kill you. So, if you bring your strongest champs in here, you can brute force stage 1, 2, and 3 to a degree, but beyond, like especially 4, beyond 4, you kind of have to start taking into consideration the mechanics of the dungeon instead of just brute forcing your way through. So, we need multi-hitters. And we need to have a good balance, right? We need to have a good balance of multi-hitters and champs that are going to bring a lot of damage, and we do need some support as well, right? So down here, the recommended heroes are Bot Mark II, Sorietta, and Taylor. The more of these 3 champs you have, the better off you're going to be. So let's jump in and talk about putting together a team for it. Taylor, by the way, I think I've mentioned Taylor in every Eternal Evolution video I've done. You get him from the Wasteland shop. So you do Wasteland, you can get him in the first couple of days. You get enough currency, you go in there and buy the pack that has Taylor in it. Do that ASAP. I'm going to be saying that for a while because it's really important. So we've got Taylor and Sorietta, also another champ that's very easy to get your hands on very early in the game and worth investing in. So my comp that I'm running is Oak, Artis, Sorietta, Taylor, and Liren for heals, okay? I don't have a Bot Mark II. And so far I'm fine without him. If I did, I could run Bot Mark II instead of Artis, but here's why I have Artis in here. Artis is my strongest champ. I get pretty good damage out of Artis. At my current point in the game, these two are enough. They bring enough multi-hits to this fight that I can take care of the shield. So I don't need another multi-hitter yet. Now, as I get a little bit later, that might change. I might have to start mixing up my comp a little bit. And this is where it's going to you have to apply this to your own account. If you can get away with the amount of multi-hits that you have for the stage you're trying to farm, you can supplement these other spots with some bigger damage. So that's why Artis is here, okay? So we're running a lone take up front. I've got Artis in the second row, Sorietta in the second row, Taylor and Liren in the back. Again. Bot Mark II, Taylor, Sorietta. If you've got any variety of those 3, get at least 2 of them into the team. Having a healer's not a bad idea. Having a tank's not a bad idea. You can probably get away with not having a tank in these earlier stages, but I'm running one anyway. So be it. Now, as far as your commander goes, Brynhild, I think pretty much not open for debate, is the best one for this dungeon. Brynhild is increasing the damage of your multi-attack heroes, and that is the whole theme of this dungeon. So get yourself a Brynhild and get her in that spot. Now, as far as our prototype spots, which I always am covering up in these videos, let's talk about what we got going on here. I'm running a Treant Heart because, 1, I'm running a healer, and 2, because Brilliance is only affecting Liren. If you don't want to run a healer and you have other supports in, you could try this to supplement the healing a little bit, but I would probably just run the healer, okay? Basically, what you're looking for in your prototypes, though, is anything that's going to increase healing for your team and anything that's going to increase damage output. But that's specifically what we're looking for in this dungeon. For the middle one, Ultima Ring, if you have an Ultima Ring, actually it's a really good one for this spot. Specifically, it's a really good one. When an allied defender hero receives damage, there will be a 20% chance that the attack of the attacker shall be reduced. This just decreases the amount of damage your team has taken, makes life easier for your healer. And then for the one closest to the commander, for this one, I'm running Inner Fire. The crit rate of allied energy, assassin, and vanguard heroes normal attack should be increased by 12. There's, again, basically whatever's increasing your damage output, just whatever applies to your team. When you click them, you can see who's getting benefits from them, so you can just kind of be guided by that. But you're looking for more damage and more heals from your prototypes, basically. So this is it. We're going to jump in and see how this goes with this team, and we can look at the rest. Actually, no, I thought that was going to bring up a different skill menu, so never mind. Let's just go ahead and jump in. Let's just do it one time for now. And you'll see we get away. I could probably slide Artis up front to help split the damage with Oak, but I wanted to test my Oak actually alone in the front because I just re-geared him a bit. So I want to see how he does up front by himself with the new gear and with Liren hopefully taking care of him. So we'll see. You see now we got the shield up. We hit that 90% threshold and we've got the shield up. So now we have to hit him several more times or he's going to kill us. And we did it. And that is strictly because of Sorietta and Taylor. you saw the numbers just ticking down. That was those two. So again, it wouldn't matter if I had fully maxed Artis and Guan Yu and Oak and everyone else. If I don't bring multi-hitters in here, he's going to kill me. So this is not a dungeon that you get to brute force your way through. And that happens pretty quickly. You can't, I think beyond like 4 or 5, you can't really brute force your way through this. And so far we've been okay on auto. So yeah, now we've got another shield and we need our multi-hitters to do the things that our multi-hitters do. We should be in good shape here. And there you go. Multi-hitters. That's the key. That's the name of this game. And then again, if you want to bring more just to be safe, go for it. Just make sure that you have enough damage to deal with this stage too, right? Or enough sustain even to survive. Because I don't think the countdown is going to be a problem, at least in the lower stages. I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal. With my current setup, I was able to even get the fastest clear reward, which I think is a pretty cool thing this game does. So, there you have it. That was, we cut it close. Probably wouldn't kill me to have another multi-hitter. I reckon to get through 7, I might need to readjust things a little bit, but to get 2 and through 6, this is working. So if you've got similar champs to me, you can mimic what I'm doing. The gear that I have right now honestly doesn't matter too much. I'm just trying to match sets that make sense for my champs. So like Artis, I have on defense boosting set. Taylor, I have on attack boosting set because, attack, and because again, I don't have a ton of gear right now. Oak, I have on a defense boosting set, HP boosting set, right? I'm just trying to match up the sets for now. Now, when we get a little bit later, we're going to change the way we approach that, but I'm going to do another video completely on guide. But that's why I'm not going through and showing you the gear on all my champs, because the gear is not what's important right now. Later on, that will be important. For now, get your comp together, make sure they have some gear on in their spots, try to get gear that makes sense for them, but don't stress too much about it. The important thing for these earlier stages is the comp. So that's really it. I just wanted to give you a quick look at that, let you know that if you've got champs and you're reading their skills and it says they do multi-hits, get them in the comp. Sorietta is fantastic in there. Taylor's fantastic in there. Bot Mark 2 is also fantastic in there. And then fill in your other slots with other stuff. We talked about commanders. We talked about prototypes. I think that's good. I think you should have at least a decent idea of how to get started in there. Hopefully to get to stage 6. And then maybe a little later down the line when I'm later in the game and I'm farming some of the end stages of it, we can talk about that approach. But that's probably going to be a very different conversation. So that's it. I do hope this was helpful. I'm going to get on out of here. I appreciate you guys watching. See you